Yo, what's popping? I hope everybody's well. I hope everything is going okay for everybody. Y'all seen the title? There is no fancy thumbnail for this one. None of that. No, nothing creative. Just a picture of yours truly. But a matter of time is exactly what it is. And there's some things that I want to talk about because I don't want people to think that I'm in radio silence because I don't have anything to say, or that or that the cat's got my tongue or anything like that. uh, we're literally at a point in a junction where we have to admit to ourselves that it's just a matter of time before the worst case scenario, the most unthinkable things take place. Um, I've had a lot of conversations. Peace, brother. Peace. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of very useful conversations at that, not just like things that you hear and then you kind of could just brush under the rug or put it in the back of your mind. A lot of things that have really been on my spirit and my soul. And the violence that I spoke to the people about, if you want to say prophesied, you could say that at this point, because I have yet to live in a year where it was this crazy. And every year has gotten crazier. So I expect next year to be even more off the chain. Certain things will calm down, but other things, other activities will heat up. It's just a matter of time until they send in the troops. We're at that point. We're at that point with the mass gun violence. We're at that point. It's just a matter of time before they permanently or semi-permanently assign National Guards, Coast Guardsmen, Air Guardsmen, Marine Corps Reserve, whoever they need on the streets and deploy them. It's just a matter of time. Even if it takes another 2 years, that's no time from now. It's coming because the mass shootings are going to be eventually seen as terroristic activity. The only way to stop that is by having units or forces, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, that bro, if yet that too, that is all that, bro. The list of things we could say goes. It's a matter of time for it's on and popping. I seen a very disturbing and very sad and tragic case down there in the great state of Texas, in the great city of Houston. And I'm not changing topics. I'm gonna get right back to that gas. But this young girl, out of her three siblings, or her and her two other siblings, three altogether, she's murdered by who they say is a former boyfriend of the mother's, who's a felon. He's 22. I'm gonna tell you my issue with the situation. Unless they can vindicate that he's the father of one of the other children, right? And he did that spitefully because this is a child of another man, or because the young lady was supposed to be in this police activities league and God forbid may have told this individual uh while he was there doing whatever to her mother that she was calling the police or doing something like that to that nature. There's no telling how a person will respond when threatened with the use of force by another group who has authorized use of force. So from all the different scenarios that played out, the most likely thing is that they could say that it could have been him, but I believe it's more likely that a man that the mother could have been sleeping with, possibly one of the other children's fathers, could have easily come in there and done that. And because her life is in such disarray, the young man said that he wasn't even around when it happened. He was miles away, right, at a gas station on camera. And he said he's going to turn himself in once he can get all the evidence. So once they get everything subpoenaed from the gas station and blase, 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 that can verify and vindicate what he's saying, or at least give him a much better chance of having a solid alibi, he's going to turn himself in. And then if what he's saying is true, now you have a scenario where we're not looking at the activities of the mother. We're worried about a guy because he's an ex felon, he's a former felon, but that's how they're going to be able to use They're going to use that same logic to attack places or to send in their special units if they're already not doing it. I'm talking about clan. Some of it might be overt, but a lot of it is going to be covert stuff. Now, baby girl gets killed, her mother gets shot. Nobody's asking questions about if it's somebody else. The police so badly want to be able to blame this guy because so many of the killings down there go unaccounted. Right. This is why being somewhere can really put you in a terrible place. Terrible place. Uh Suffice it to say, I'm not saying don't help somebody if you see them with a grievous bodily injury, but your best bet is to record yourself walking up and verifying that you and this individual do not know each other. So then that way you have at least a digital footprint to say, hey, I just walked up on this before y'all got here, right? They would have to prove that you did something other than that before that point, as opposed to you having blood or whatever on your hands and trying to defend your innocence after the point. Going back to this gas rate thing. The cost of fuel. These are direct effects of the sanctions on Russia. If they don't sanction Russia and they allow Ukraine to be bullied and uh and beat down on like they should, and sometimes there is some positive bullying in the world. You know what I mean? You can bully the bully. And if Ukraine is the bully in this case, let me tell you how they're the bully. They're the bully because they're trying to get a fully established dominant Western power who calls itself the greatest force in the earth to set up their powerful weapons of war along the border of another place that considers itself one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful force in the earth. Right. That's a direct instigation. You know what I'm saying? That's an agitation. That's a what's the word? Provocation. And yet, that's not a bully move for Ukraine to try to join a force of individuals who literally the massive part of the power is on the other side of the earth and not with them like all the other European nations. So now we right back to Biden. He done screwed everything up with that. And I don't vote and I don't care politically. I'm just talking about his decision making process and how all this stuff really affects one thing on top of the other. Having no regional influence by pulling out all your troops from Afghanistan, all those things matter. They all do matter. So there's no threat of possible retaliation on any forces that are Russian who may be operating within the region, right? Saying it's accidental or just blaming another force altogether for it and coercing the Russian military or government, whoever you want to call it, at least to coming to the table to speak about, hey, how can we keep these prices at bay? But because that's not the issue, but because they did want to put weapons, possibly nukes, on their borders, because they did want to station jump off points on their borders, I I can't blame them. How would America feel if Russia wanted to set up its stuff at the Chinese border or at the Mexican border? They're not having that. So the idea that we could go way over there and do the same thing is, to me, is just unfeasible and it's unrealistic. So we have that situation. Biden's inability to, I don't know, because you know how they tell us corporations run the earth, like like it's we blame the corporations. A lot of people don't know this, but the first corporations are headed by people who are notoriously connected with clandestine warfare units, clandestine intelligence units, clandestine sabotage units, all sorts of that stuff. These are corporations, right? So if you have people coming from the CIA and the FBI and the NSA and the DSA and the DIA, right, and all that stuff, they're going into these corporations getting these jobs. They're the problem. The government is the problem. See how that works? You see how it's all really the government? and the government can put it off on the corporations, and the so-called corporations put it back off on the governments. It's weirdo stuff like that. But the gas rates, even if people don't just nut up and just take over a whole world, in Washington State, I literally see billions of dollars worth of crude oil transported from one location to another on the railroads. I literally sometimes will stop and watch. If I have the old video on my phone, I'm gonna upload that one of these days. Coal, everything comes through here. You know what I mean? They have spills all the time out here that I'm sure they don't tell us about. I'm positive it happens and they don't tell us about it. That being said, even if people don't nut up and go do nothing like the the gas prices are gonna drive people to make decisions that they don't normally make. Right. They they don't change. It's just a matter of time because they put out a certain message. They're allowing for a certain frequency to inhibit and stop all reception of a certain type of frequency. And then that same reception that's inhibiting the other base reception of frequency is inhabiting an area which it should not inhabit. So you have habitation through inhibition. This is a crazy concept, but this is what's going on. And so because you have an energy that's occupying a space it's not really meant to occupy, it's going to drive people to do things they ought not do. If your whole life, if all you've ever seen is flashy cars and a guy with money and pretty women, and that's all you really want in life, you don't there's nothing that drives you to have a greater purpose, right? And there's a lot of individuals, uh myself not included, because when I was like in like my late teens coming into my 20s, I might have kind of sort of been like that, but I never was really like that as a person. So I have not suffered some of the setbacks some of those individuals have suffered in their own ways. I've suffered different kinds of setbacks. Um, but nonetheless, they chase after something that is, once again, it's a frequency that's imposed upon them. And because it's imposed upon them, they will seek after it by almost any means. And all the letdown, it's a matter of time until all the letdown eventually comes full circle. A person can only take so much failure or perceived failure, non-successes, before they quit or they do something drastic. Yes, this is what's driving a lot of these so-called mass shootings. It's not just uh because there's a lot of isolated events where it's one person to another person and there's no really actually good reason to kill anyone. But if the situation gets so heated to where cooler heads won't prevail because you're both hot-headed, right? You see what I'm saying? So now we're talking about the mass shooting aspect real quick, right? People are driven to this. They have easy access to weapons. As long as they've maintained and toed the line for the years of their life where in which they can become a recipient, right? Of some of the benefits of society, i.e., being able to go and purchase a firearm. These things are going to happen more and more and more frequently because there's more people who are over 21 who can afford a firearm than those who are 18 that can afford a firearm. The years of experience in their life and the potential opportunities are just greater than that of someone who's 18. So now, when you take all these things into consideration, a person who's that much older has a better functioning mind. Their mind is not clouded by um, insecurity as much. It's not clouded as much by them seeking an identity because they don't have one or because they've never established one. Um, for all the things that I could say that for all the things I could say it about them being just those few years older, how they're that much more dangerous. The little dude in Uvalde and the little dude in Buffalo, Both of them picked soft targets on purpose. Now, people can say that the Buffalo shooter went in there, shot and killed the brother that was in there working because he had some kind of an engine that could run on water. I don't get into things like that because he could still be alive if he had approached the situation differently. So I'm not gonna sit there and do that because anytime you are armed and you're supposed to be ever vigilant, it's your job to be ever vigilant. Thank you very much. So when they say that, oh, some of these police officers are overzealous, of course they are. It's their job to be ever vigilant. Right. So their decision making process is skewed. Is down to, is this an issue and a problem or is it not? And they don't have to be friendly about it because at the end of the day, they may face a very dangerous situation that could cost them their life. Just just my perception. Now, having said that, both of those shooters went and picked places that were, as one would say, soft targets. But I'm gonna tell you something else about those places that they picked. The one dude picked the school because a lot of the school shootings, there's a lackluster response. Now whether the little dude did his research and found that out, or just paid attention through these years and was like, they won't be here in time. I can't stress it to anybody enough. The feeling and the sensation of your mortality. If you have never faced your mortality, if you have never been in a situation where you could have possibly died, or you're like, damn, I could die right now, it's totally different. I can't impose that feeling upon you just because I need you to understand it and I want you to understand it and I desire you to understand it. You either been there and you've done that and you got a shirt or shirts for it, or you don't. And that's okay if you don't. I need you to appreciate the valuable experience of everyone else. So now we're talking on another level, right? Let's go back to these gas prices. You're a single mother. You've dated unscrupulously the last 4 or 5 years in your life. You flaunted it on social media to the father of your child or your children, or the fathers of your child or children, right? And the fathers of your children, excuse me. But you get what I'm saying. And now the tables have turned and how the mighty have fallen. Because now being a bad bitch, they ain't doing it for you no more, right? Being independent ain't doing it for you no more, right? And it just so happens that the pressure, because the father says, hey, I don't mind being in my daughter's life. Yeah, this $600 or $700 a month I got to pay in child support, even though that's tearing into my pockets. I'll gladly give you that. You can keep getting that. I want custody of the little girl. And because some of these women are afraid to relinquish that feeling of so-called power that they have over this man, that they would rather harm the child than to give the child up, so that way they're truly in a safe environment where they're loved by somebody who has a much stronger mental constitution. So when you guys are reading about these stories of these brothers and these sisters, and the same thing goes for the man. There's brothers who didn't want the child, ended up with the child, and can't stand the child. The mother is out, has another family, or she's dead, or she's strung out, running the streets, whatever the case may be. Some of these guys are with women with children, and they can't stand her or the children. I'm speaking on things that people don't say out loud. Forgive me, please. But I have to speak on them. Because if I don't, then it'll be as if I willfully ignored that plight. And I'm doing my best not to, but at the same time, I don't want to go down too many rabbit holes. It's a matter of time until all those people spontaneous combust. If you're a single mother who loves her children now, by the way, works very hard, the father is around. He's not on hard luck. He's not on hard time. No, this man has a physical disability that he suffered from. That's not hard luck or hard time. Okay, that's real life. He can no longer achieve the same level of success that he once could, but he can still work a certain kind of job. But they're struggling. Right on? The people get fed up. It happens every day. I'm here to encourage you not to get fed up. I'm here to encourage you just to remember, man, pinto beans and cornbread is delicious. Butter beans and cornbread is delicious with a little sugar on it. You got to enjoy some of these simple things, my people, and get outside of, because it's just because if all those things, if it's a matter of time until that, it's a matter of time until good and evil go head to head. It's just a matter of time. Sipping on some scotch, just in case anybody was going to wonder. It's just a matter of time, brothers and sisters. And I have to explain it and espouse it this way because what we're witnessing is the breakdown of of I don't know what you would call it. It's it's they're pretty much like fake defense mechanisms. They're actually not real. It's like a placebo. So the placebo of comfort and thriving in America is leaving the land because all the shootings and all the murders and all the killings, they won't report all of them. Even if they know the exact number, they're not going to report everything that's happened this year. They're not going to tell us that it spiked, 400% from last year to this year. They're not going to tell us that. And if they do, it's because they understand it. It's just a matter of time anyway before they all start going crazy. And when I say all, I'm talking about those who have sacrificed parts of their souls to achieve and to accomplish, to accrue, to acquire what little they do have. That will drive a person mad. But don't worry. I thank you, Brother Leonard Yuda. I thank all the brothers and sisters that will eventually see this because I have to remind y'all, if I'm on a dossier somewhere, you're on a dossier somewhere just for dealing with me and for being who you are already. Might have already been on a dossier somewhere. They have it. They have a pretty good matrix of who we are, of what we believe in, what we want to see accomplished. They know this, and I appreciate y'all for putting your safety at risk just to hear these little things that you may already know. Because eventually, what I'm saying is going to become too much for even for them to bear to want to listen to anymore. The truth does not hurt; it does set you free. Because one cannot heal until they know that they are injured. You understand? You will continue to injure the injury until you accept I am injured. And I must deal with it accordingly in order for it to heal back to its proper stage. There are going to be many people who give up, who are deceived along the way, many who fall by the wayside for one reason or the other. Those who will fall to the left and those who will fall to the right. It will, we are seeing it happen right in front of our very eyes. There was a brother, took his daughter, had just killed the mother at the home, took his daughter, went and killed killed her and killed himself behind the church. This is the levels of desperation people are feeling. Where the man, I don't know what was going on with the wife, something, but he felt so desperate that God know that it was a struggle in his spirit and his soul that he went and killed his daughter and then killed himself. Now people will say he's going to hell for suicide. That's nowhere in the Bible. Thou shalt not kill is the law. It's crazy. But that's how tormented the man's soul was. That he would literally take his daughter. to the place that he deemed most holy to end her life, as if to say, I want God to see me do this. I need a sip of my scotch. Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. That brother that lost his mind down there in Tulsa, you know why he lost his mind? Because the pain was too great. Andre Wickham said the pain made him go crazy. That's a high major part of it. But I believe the other part of it was also because the doctor who did the primary part of his care was a brother. And he may have felt that that brother didn't take care of him like he was supposed to at the end of the day. Sometimes it's something as simple as that. Sometimes people want you to mind your business, but sometimes people want you to be nosy, actually. They want you to give your 2 cents and keep it pushing. Right. They don't mind that. They actually would prefer you give your 2 cents. That might have been just enough to make a dollar. Always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. That brother was in so much pain that he felt the only resolution that he had was to go make sure that these individuals could never perform on anyone else ever again, and to make anyone who survived that learn and achieve the highest level of professionalism in their practice. Okay, because doctors are not professionals by trade, they practice medicine. So you cannot profess medicine. You can only practice it because they have no established one way to treat everyone because we're all not genetically the same. So you can't treat different genomes like they're all the same. Moving on from that, they will learn. And those who are perished will no longer be able to do a thing again. And that individual that was a former Army Ranger, right? First sergeant, him probably spoke words to that man that he should not and ought not have spoke to him. I could tell you all about all kinds of things that I've been reading, crazy things. There's a few shining lights there. There's a few bright lights there, but there's so much darkness. It's difficult for me to speak on that. That little blip, that little flash we all just saw. We all saw that flash. The entire darkness saw that flash, no matter how far away they are. Now, some were much closer to the initial flash point, so they could feel the energy that light gives off, and they desire to be around the light. Some are so far away that they just want to see what it, they want to see what it they want to experience closer up what it is that they experienced. And some are so far back that they don't even care what that was. It's a one-off. Whatever it was probably won't ever happen again. It doesn't matter. I live in darkness. It's a very sad thing, but it is only a matter of time until we finally find ourselves in a position where I won't say it's kill or be killed, but we will have to make the decision to fight or flight. We're going to have to know, can I win this battle? Is the Most High God with me? Or is this just a vain thing in my heart that I pursue after? Will He give us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to discern those things instantaneously that we may live? All that and a bag of chips. I do not want to ever see the news with anybody that I've ever dealt with on any sort of a personal level, like what I have been seeing, where they become the victim or they become the victimizer. I would rather them all live to the day of judgment and then that their judgment be passed on to them by the Most High God Himself. First off, that they may see that all that they believed was right. Second off, so that way they can be judged rightly in their flesh. Thirdly, because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do to want you to live. would hope that they want me to live. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that much at least. But blessed be the Most High God for not placing us in a position where we can't even defend ourselves or don't understand that it is only a matter of time. Many people have spoken of race wars and this, that, and the third, but they don't understand or recognize or realize that there will be as many people who look like you wanting to murder and wanting to kill you as there will be those who do not look like you attempting and achieving the same. That is the part, and it is only a matter of time. I have witnessed enough suffering in this one life to say that the great suffering that is to come, I do want to forget that. I yes, I'm probably looking forward to the Most High God getting rid of this whole memory. I really am. In my own ways, there's things that some of it I want to remember because I want to remember the glory of uh of achieving something so little, so small, you know, like overcoming a depression and knowing what it feels like to know that I overcame that and I didn't let it kill me and I didn't allow myself to become somebody else because of it, you know. And when I say depression, I'm just talking about the situation that happened with my son, all those years ago, and just how I'm able to much better cope now than I was, 6 years ago, right? 7 years ago. And people don't know. It's better that it's better that someone get an idea from you and people don't know who you are sometime than people to see that all these individuals have actually taken these things or absconded these things in their own way, shape, and form. It's better that way. It keeps you out of the actual limelight. I'm great with pressure. I'm great with the lights. I just don't want to be the face of attention. I'd rather be the person that helps make it happen behind the scenes. And then I get my due diligence. That's all I want. Just give me my due diligence. If they do that, I have no issues. When they don't do that, I have an issue with them not even wanting to say that proverbially speaking, I did lift my hammer, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? I did actually lift my hammer to work. And to not act as if I did that is it brings a disgrace and a dishonor to my persons and to the seed of people that I come from, that I'm seeded from, as if they're worthless. And this is why it's just a matter of time. Because how much longer can a person like myself continue to tell the people, hey, do this and do this and do this? But I know they're not going to listen. They didn't listen thousands of years ago. They're not going to listen now. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is them trying to have double standards. It's just a matter of time before all that stuff blows up in black people's faces, crying foul because of racism. And then on the other level, telling people, man, they need to step their game up. Can't have it both ways. You can't shit on somebody for having a minimum wage job, right? And then on the other hand, shit on them because they ain't got no money. What were they supposed to do differently? If the situation is what they claim it is, that white supremacy is this and white supremacy is that, what could they have done differently? Could they have kissed some more ass? Is that what they missed out on? Is that the part of the game that they fucked up on? They didn't kiss enough ass? Because I'm trying to figure it out. What differently could a Marine Corps veteran do so that way when he went to places that were actually what he did in the military, he couldn't even get a job at a higher level at the entry level, has to work his way up every single time. And then they get mad because he has a level of genius about him, where in which he's like, if we did this differently, you could decrease the workload by 15%, increase production by another 7 or 8%, and overall bring down the tension in here by about 50%. Not trying to hear stuff like that. Right. They can't because they don't want to see you work and they don't want to see you shine. They don't want to see that because in their mind they're wicked. They're like, if there is a God, he's with him, he's with her, he has to be. Everything they do is blessed, lest they do something to offend the Most High God, surely. But all that they do is blessed. How do you explain how a person could do so? Everything they touch is blessed, and yet they can't even get their foot in the door to get properly accommodated for their skill set. Think about that. And it's not just myself who's a genius. There's millions of geniuses, thousands, at least tens of thousands of them amongst our people. Bona fide geniuses. Believe that. We are out there. Genius at many different things. Some are genius in the body. They have physical abilities and they have such a command over those abilities, they have to be a genius. There are others who are genius in their minds. There are some who become genius between the two. There are those who are genius within the soul and the spirit. Come on, look, y'all are seeing it. Y'all are hearing me. Y'all are hearing me. Right. And I ain't talking about no wicked folks. I'm talking about complete, real geniuses. Those individuals, it's just a matter of time until they get their day to shine. It's just a matter of time. So if they've sequestered all your abilities and all your talents, and you've been forced to take a lesser accommodation, you've been forced to take the shit end of the stick, your day is coming where you will not be denied. I promise you this. You have to stay the course. You have to keep a steady hand. Your heart cannot deceive you. How was it written? The heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it? The Lord tries the reins of a man's heart. In short, correct? So, if that's the case, my heart can deceive me far greater than any demon can. But if I allow a demonic frequency into my mind that can get to my heart, then I've allowed for that demonic frequency to influence my heart. Can you hear me? This is deep. That's why you have to put better frequencies between your ears. Even if it's just you talking to yourself and recording your own self speak, saying positive things from the most positive point of view, you have to do that for yourself. And you have to put that positive energy within yourself so that way the heart won't deceive you because it won't desire anything deceitful. But this is where we're at as a people: underappreciated, unappreciated, unnoticed, unacknowledged. So therefore, some of us are driven to doing things out of desperation that we ought not do and that we would not normally do. And I do really feel so sorry for these beautiful sisters who have sacrificed their time and their bodies in these colleges just to come up short because the society that we live in seeks to prey on them. I really do. I feel for my sisters. As much as it is their own haughtiness, and as much as it may be that some of them are not actually truly our real sisters, it still is an upsetting thing to see, disheartening and discouraging sometimes, because it tells me that they are after their own desires. They don't desire to be a true woman of God who is behind a man of God and says, I will take whatever lot the Most High God gives me. I will take whatever life he gives me because he will not take my life away lest I do something that requires that. That's not what he does. He doesn't just deliver us up. We're not here because we got delivered up because we make messed up decisions. Not enough in a row. We don't make enough bad decisions back to back to back to back for God to be like, you know what? They got to go. They have to go. It's just a matter of time before we get our chance. And there is a mentality that a victim should not be a victim amongst our people. And that is wrong. If you are seeking reparations, you are indeed a victim of something. Therefore, you should act like a victim. Should you be empowered in your own ways? Sure. But you should still act in the role of one who has been victimized and to remind your victimizers that yes, they have preyed upon you. But it's just a matter of time until the cowards of our people are flushed out. And the undercover agents and the covert agents for the United States government who call themselves drug dealers, who go under the guise of hustlers, who are part of the reason why the United States government drops off crates on trains full of guns, unbeknownst to the people, them individuals, and all their works shall finally be judged. Everything that they're doing. It's not by chance or by happenstance. How could you not be a victim? If you're saying you need reparations, you're a victim to this very day, to this very moment. Is a woman who is restituted through the courts who has been raped any less a victim her whole life? She will forever be a rape victim. You can't take that away. No matter how many times she washes her body with the finest lathers, with the best soaps, she will never be able to wash away that shame and that feeling of helplessness. And for all these brothers who failed to take the charge to protect young sisters who have not sullied their reputation, shame on you. And may your pain in hell be legendary. For those of you who fail to answer the call of young brothers, little boys who are preyed upon and victimized, and their voices go unheard, shame on you. May your pain in hell be legendary. How about that? For all of you who got your peace and can stand by and watch your people suffer and say it's because they made a decision, not even knowing them, not even giving yourself the chance to come to that conclusion based on what they tell you. You've made a decision about them already. Shame on you. May your pain in Hades be legendary. It does a person no good to tell everybody how much they love the Most High God and then do nothing for nobody else. I mean, every time they get a chance where they could actually help somebody, they find an excuse or a reason not to do anything. And we all know people like that. We've all met them, we've all been around them. It's not a big deal, but it's a real thing. And they are a part of the problem, and it's just a matter of time until their half-heartedness blows up in their faces. When I'm out here, I give the homeless money all the time. I don't got that much money, but I'm breaking bread. Want to know why? Because I don't ever know when I'm going to need that person. Someone driving a car, you're probably not going to need them like that. But a person that's on the streets that lives in your general area, There could be a bunch of different reasons you need this person. God forbid you need them to be a witness to something to say that, hey, I didn't do that. I defended myself. The last thing you want to be is at the mercy of someone that you've mistreated, verbally or physically. And now they have the chance to return the favor. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Because that's what it's going to be. That's the day. It's a matter of time before we get there. It's happening. It's coming. They're like, don't you out here pocket watching. I'm not telling nobody how much money they have. I'm just saying that if you got enough money to treat yourself to nice things, if I can buy myself some scotch, I can give somebody $5, $10, $20. I had a dream the other night. This is crazy. I give away money all the time, right? I rarely keep $50 bills. In the dream, I had picked up a dirty, dingy $50 bill. And it was supposed to have been a $5 bill. For whatever reason, I thought it was a $5 bill in my pocket. And I'm going around, and it's the brother that I saved from the police in Seattle all those years ago. And he needs some money. And I pull out the money and I give him that. And it's the $50. I'm thinking it's a $5 bill, but then he opens it, it's a 50. And just like I would do in real life, if I gave somebody more money than I intended to give them, I would let them keep it. Right. I've always been like that. Right on. If I meant to give you five and I gave you a 20, I'm not going to hawk you down and be like, hey, give me that 20 back. Here's a five. Keep it. If $20 bills can break me, that means that $5 could break me just as well. So I should have never been in a position to give them any money. Right. I've always been like that. And it was just a crazy dream. And I remember waking up from that. It was a little nap I was having earlier today before I actually did this. And it was crazy. You know, laid down for about 2 or 3 hours, sleep or nap, whatever you want to call it. Uh, and yeah, that was that was different. But that's who I am as a person. So in the dream, I wasn't upset when I realized I gave him $50. And like I said, it was the same face of the brother that I had put my neck out there for all those years ago. It's a blessing. You can't make this stuff up. Brothers and sisters, I got a few more minutes and then I got to roll. But so I have to really hit some things across the head. We are going to see more people than ever throw in the towel. We are. And we're going to see more people than ever put harming someone else before I go out of earth on their bucket list. Right. I don't have a bucket list. I don't. All the things that I want to do before I die, I've already done everything I want to do. Right on. I've already done it. I've already accomplished everything that I could really accomplish. Whether they give your brother any sort of semblance of any acknowledgement, anybody that's been rocking with me for however long you've been rocking with me knows that we have watched the Discord change from conversations that were had here with me, the screen, and y'all. We've watched it change in a handful of years. And people who would never have even dared to speak on Pan Africanism in a negative light, or at least in a more critical light, they have all turned their backs. Things that I told the people, and you could say prophesied, but I don't go that far. But I did bring it up. And as I spoke it, so they did. And it's a funny thing because there's been a lot of things as it was spoken, so did it happen. And they will continue to take from us. Every time that y'all comment and say something, they look at it. They want to see exactly what could have driven that response. They want to know how we think, what we feel. They want to know why it is that because we've never seen the God that we worship, there are no pictures of the God that we praise. They want to know how could we believe that? Well, is that really air that's blowing on your face? Or is it wind? Which one is it? Or is it nothing? Or am I just imagining that? Is this all just a simulation? Stop it. See what I'm saying? The same folks who say that don't go and stand in the middle of traffic. I dare the next brainiac that asked the stupid question like, "Are you sure that was the egg you ate?" Okay, go stand in the middle of traffic, right on, and get hit and purposely get struck by a vehicle. You're not gonna die. I guarantee you won't die. This is all just, it's all make believe anyway. I guarantee you they will push back on that. 100 million trillion fulfillion dollars. Okay, okay. That Dr. Evil money. Okay, I bet you Dr. Evil money that they will push back on that. Am I lying? Have I told a falsehood as I speak these things? I don't think so. And that's why I say what I'm saying. I'm not shitting on nobody for having something. I'm saying, hey, make sure that those you see who have less, it's not your job to say they should have done better. Me and Brother Wickham had a conversation, and he was saying how, and I agree with him totally. For like 98% of it, I totally agree with. But there's a sliver of it where a perception could be changed and a person could manipulate the words. And I'm gonna tell you what was said. So we was talking about how people, they'd be like, man, that could have been me. That should have been me. That would have been me. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, nigga. But it ain't. Quit hating. Now he was saying that some of these guys are pretty much like it's their own fault, it's their own doing. And I was like, if you say that, then racism isn't real. Right on? So we have to acknowledge that even if, even if you did all the wrong things, there is no less racism. There is no less a systemic effort to keep you oppressed at bay. It's nonetheless existent. It's just now it's more pertinent and prevalent in your life because its full effects can be taken on your persons. That's the difference. Right. And we forget to acknowledge these things. Okay, yeah, you get a flat tire every once in a while. Okay, your baby mama be acting up. Okay, your children are kind of rebellious. But if you're still in a position where you're not out on the streets, no matter what you say, you're doing better than they are, bro. That's the fact. And this is why it's upon your shoulders as a true steward of your people, a true usher, a true matadi of your people to come through and to show up and say, you know what? Don't worry. I'm going to remind you there's a God in heaven, in the heaven of heavens. Can you hear me? Because if heaven is his throne, the earth indeed is his footstool. And it's your job to remind the people that. It's not the government's job. It's not the same racist, systemic, hateful government's job to do that. It's your job as an individual to stand up against that. And it's even more your job to remind your people that we are to pray to our God. We are to ask him to save us. I do believe it is in one accord. Because in that day, when the people lift up their voices and they say whatever prayer needs to be said, all of this is over. Scribe was 100 million% right about one thing he said. A lot of other stuff people could try to disagree with, but during the height of the civil rights movement, Black people might have been this close to getting the Most High God to get up off that throne. Fist fighting anybody that doesn't agree. Trust, when I say fist fighting, fist fighting. We were this close, and we failed to release the bow. We failed to swing the sword, to lift the shield. Okay? We failed to pull the trigger. And because of that, we've suffered. Give me one moment, y'all. Yeah, check me out. We failed to pull the trigger. And because of that failure, see, I say we, because I can't say these are my ancestors and then their failures not be my failures too. Their successes are my successes. Their failures are my failures. That's how we have to live through that. We failed to do the right thing. This time around, we will not. We won't wait for any base, tertiary level foolery to be our savior or our liberator from our situation. We won't. I will ask those who believe that there is the Spirit of God that lives in them to step aside from their pride, to step aside from their arrogance, to step aside from the ego that is within their minds, and to ask the Most High God every day, of all the prayers that you should pray, the one that I know that I can't tell you what to think, but I can tell you some real stuff right now. The one that you should want is for him to come back and to judge the earth. To say, woe to them who ask for the great day of destruction. Woe to them who don't. I have to speak against that. They don't live in these times where they were still thousands. Back then, they were still thousands of years removed from whence we are now. So woe to them who do not ask, because this is our chance. This is it. If you don't ask to be saved, you won't be saved. Do you understand that? And what Isaiah said, or what Jeremiah says, or what Daniel says, does not supersede Enoch. And if he told me to ask my God to be saved, to ask your God, to ask our God to be liberated, that I will do. And if our ancestors did the same thing in Egypt and were liberated, I'll be damned if it won't work one more time. And that's where I stand. That's the frequency I put out there. That there is a God, the Most High God, and there is a Christ, his Christ. There is a high order of holy angels, and there are all angels and hosts who are under them, who are mystified and are made great by their refusal to abandon their station. I salute the Most High God because he deserves that. A real one. That's that's what he deserves. Every time you get up in the morning, he deserves to be saluted. Deserves that bare minimum. Did you not make it? Did he not leave the breath of life in your body? Right. For all the things that make us or that we allow to entice us to become angry, there are many more things that bring us joy. Because at some point when you're having a rough day, you just tell yourself, man, I'm just glad I'm alive. And there is not one grown man that has not been driven to tears in his life for one reason or another. Get that stuff out of you. Get that hate, get that rage, get that angst, get all that stuff out of you. Let it go. It's really not for you to have. And I wish you would understand that it's not yours to keep. Let Earth have back what it is that she's put out. So that way she understands that her position and her condition is based on her unwillingness to take action. Remind the earth that you too are in pain and that you can acknowledge her suffering. I pray that God hold back not the rain. I pray that he does not withhold it. I pray that he bless the earth with the righteous winds and don't curse it with the cursed winds. Right. Even now, that we may live to see the end. But I know that the fish will fail, the birds will fail. I know that a man will allow another man to lay with his wife for bread. These things are yet to come. These things have happened in the past for sure, as far as those things happening. But this will be the finale. See, this is why they're trying to come up with all this lab chicken and lab fish, frankenfish, and all that stuff. Because they so badly want to try to undo the words which are already written. If the Bible wasn't true, why try to go against it at all? Once again, why not ignore it like any other thing that they ignore? Something about it must be real, y'all. Just think about that for a moment. On a base level, how many of y'all go around talking about flying pigs? And how many of you are going out there going hard to prove that there are no such thing as flying pigs? Okay, then. Okay, then. Do you see my point? We don't pursue nonsense. Yet they'll tell you that this is all conjecture. Every piece of it. It's only meant to be a guide as to how we should live our lives. But for whatever reason, that's not how it's written. Now y'all must know this. I'm putting together a collage of pictures that I've been receiving from Brother Rod Smith, Sister Adrian Smith, the Smith family, of course. Pictures I've gotten from Brother Ben Judah over there in the UK. Few pictures I've taken myself, and I think there's somebody else I'm missing out. I think Andre has sent me some stuff, but I'm taking all pictures. Okay, uh, I'm taking all pictures of the sun and the moon, and we're about to prove we're on our way. We us, whether they realize it or not, we're on our way to proving that the sun and the moon indeed do go through portals, and that the earth is not round. Oh man, we're about to shake the whole foundation again from right here. It don't matter if they take it up today or tomorrow, but when whoever searches out obscure information upon YouTube or any one of these subscribers who may actually be somebody with a flourishing channel decides to say, "Oh yeah, I like that piece of information. That's very interesting." So my question for everybody is this right here. They'll tell you about CERN. They'll tell you about DARPA. They'll tell you about these groups that are trying to rift portals. They are rifting open portals every day. Who knows what's coming through them? So if they can do it, there's a God in the heaven of heavens. He told us through a man, through his angels, that there are portals in which the sun and the moon go through, six altogether. And for whatever reason, for whatever reason, it's not real. When it was written though thousands of years ago, the same term, portal, but that's fake. That's conjecture. Yet these guys are trying to rift open things that they're calling portals. Yet where did you get that idea from? Right. Where did you get that concept? See, this is what makes them seem like they're literally mentally insane and ill in their minds, and it makes people who look just like me, whether they be caramel, whether they be high yellow, whether they be chocolate brown, whether they be that cherry cola look, I don't care. That's what makes them look like buffoons when they will push back against something so basic and so regular. That in this book is telling us about portals and stations. Whether the word portal or station is the actual word is not even my concern. The idea that those words are being used as the translation or transliteration tells me everything. That these terms and concepts are old as life, older than life itself. And yet what? What have they done but rock confusion? This is the problem. This is the problem. Do they understand magnetic frequency inhibitors to the way that they really claim they do? No, they don't. Magnetic frequency inhibitor is what pretty much creates force fields, y'all. I could claim that's what the firmament is. Now, what that's made out of and what that consists of, I have no idea. But I have a concept of what it could be made out of, but I don't really have an actual idea, like where to start that whole concept at, because it could be the middle, the beginning, or the end, or it could just totally be wrong altogether. But that much I'm very sure about. That's how you keep the water up there. Water has a frequency. Water has a magnetism to it. Yes, it does. If it didn't, why would it respond to tuning forks and things like that? Why how can you find water using copper? All these little things. Anyway, let me stop. So there's something there that is the anti-frequency to water above us. We don't need one below. Right. The water had to be separated. Remember that. So again, these guys don't know nothing. It's just a matter of time though. To the things that I've been saying that I've always pretty much known. There's a lot of things I don't say because what good will it do me to say it for somebody to take it and to use it wickedly? That's why I'm always so skeptical about speaking on certain information because I already know. Like I said, the same individuals, it's just a matter of time until they realize that they have to bow down to the Most High God. It is literally a matter of moments. What is 5 more years of your life if you've already been alive for 40 or 50 of them, 60 of them? They're not promised years, but what is 5 more years? Nothing really. For everything to be coming to a complete, I mean, and I don't know if it's 5 years or not, but I'm confident to put some money down. The 500 days mark was up shit like 2 months ago, but it had already been going down since before then. Salute to my hitters, Rick over there. Salute. They deserve that one. They work for it. I got a Rick that I want to jump out there with, you know. Uh, but I held my hand because I've been like, I don't know to what level and degree these dudes are watching your boy. The most heavily surveilled people uh normally don't get that kind of exposure that you think these days. They do their best to keep them obscure. That's the goal. So you don't know the truth or any inkling leading you to the truth. If everything I've only said, if everything I've said have only been half truths, let's just say there were half truths, you're still closer to the truth than you were not if those half truths were things that you had no concept of or just had never given it any real thought. That's what I'm here for. I'm a thought genius among a couple other different forms of genius combined in one, but my highest level of genius is my thought, my ability to think and to ponder. I've been given a very sound mind, one of the soundest that I've ever known of. And I'm not patting myself on the back because it's nothing. I was given the mind. Note that I didn't say I earned it. Oh, I did all the work. No, I was given this mind. I understand that. I was blessed enough to understand that I was given the mind that I have. A lot of people don't see it like that. But because I understand that, I will think the thoughts that people may not think, and I will speak on the thoughts that they believe they should not say out loud. I'll sound crazy for all of us, is what I'm trying to say. No big deal. I'm already full blown crazy to them anyway. Like I said, I believe in a God that can't see. You can't see. You can't even see your God. You believe in him though, nonetheless. And it's just a matter of time until they see that we are right and they are wrong. And they will want to kill us and murder us for that. And that great day, hide yourself. When those angels come to hide you, don't fight with that angel. Don't beef with that angel. Let that angel hide you. Okay? It's not your fight. Where in the Bible does it say it's your fight in the end? One of y'all tell me. It's your fight. Where does that come up? Nowhere. That's where. It's not your fight, Israel, children of Jacob. It is not your fight. Sons and daughter of Abraham, it is not your fight. Sons and daughter of Seth, it is not your fight. All those that are seated from Adam and the first man alike, it is not your fight. It never has been your fight. It's always been the Most High God's fight. And it's been your job to do what he wants you to do for him, that you may thrive. We're grown here. That's right. Nowhere. It's not our fight, bro. Period, point blank. And until we get to that point, until we understand that our struggle is getting the Most High God to see that we do need to be saved and rescued. That's our only struggle. That's the only thing that should matter to those that really care. It's nice to think that some of our family members and our loved ones will eventually come around and do what they must do to please the God of honor. But it's better to know that they may not do that and that they may be rebellious for all their days. Why waste your breath? Part-time vegan. I really do feel bad for this individual. Right on. I had to delete the comment thread because they came with some real sideways stuff about the book of Enoch. And I just was like, I'm done talking to you. And they ain't been back around since. Because I believe that they realized that you didn't answer this person didn't answer not one question that I asked him. Straight ignored every question that I asked and moved on. While I would at least address what they were asking of me. The dishonor, forget the disrespect, the dishonor in that I can't abide by that. Now I don't have to honor or acknowledge you. You see what I'm saying? Because that's weak. That's weak sauce. But they were trying to say that the Christ is not real. But the Christ said, let the dead bury the dead. Right. That's a powerful philosophy. Don't worry about people who don't want to do the right thing. Now, if this is truly the white man's world, as they say it, and it's the white man's money, right? How's it going to harm you to to bless your sinner brother or your sinner sister who doesn't want to do right? Does you no harm? You never know. One of those days you gift them something, they may decide to turn their whole life around. Maybe they lived longer because of you. Maybe they would have only lived to be 30 if it wasn't for you and not 50. So you bought them an extra 20 years through your kindness. But when your kindness dried up, their life dried up. Right. So remember that even if you know that they're a sinner, that is your brother, that is your sister. You don't have to go and preach the gospel to them for you to to want them to live that God may change their heart. Right. You see what I'm saying? See, I'm not so far off in my mind where I'm like, oh, forget them. They're done with. They're done. It's over. I'm not like that. I'm really more or less like, hey, let's just let's just disagree to disagree. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna do my best to help you out when I can. I'm not gonna hurt my situation. I'm not gonna bring myself down like I may have in the past and really hurt my finances to try to help people, right? Because I just felt like this is the only thing I can do to show them that I truly do love them and that I don't want them to be in a situation of despair. But if they continuously find themselves in a situation of despair, you cannot continue to give them the same help that you've been giving them. It's okay to take your foot off the gas. It's okay to slow down the spigot. It's okay because they're not doing what you have to do to obtain that and to gain what you have. So, like with myself, I cook for a living, right? Where I've been cooking at, there I'm this close to being the kitchen manager officially. There's a little pushback from from individuals that have been there longer than me, but they're not nearly, like my strength in the kitchen and cooking, my ability is way higher than theirs. And it's not a disrespect to them. I like the guys that I work with. I like one of the guys I work with. The other one I don't really care for too much. And it's not because he's a white dude. It's because he's an old dude who is set in a lot of negative, messed up ways that working with somebody else might have already got him hurt. And in the profession that I'm in, you don't get to make mistakes and people not remind you or at least tell you that you made a mistake. You follow what I'm saying? Like, and cooking is probably the most honest, real profession there is. Because if it doesn't taste good, guess what? That's real. Word? There is no deception. It didn't taste good, player. You know what I mean? Like, you can be mad, you can be sad, man. Man. You better scratch your ass and get glad. Okay, that's what you better do and figure it out. Clearly, wash your hands if you're in the kitchen, but you follow what I'm saying. Though we're being metaphorical here, and I just can't appreciate that. That people don't see those kind of things from one shade of life to another. If you do something wrong, you need to be corrected about it. You can't carry on being wrong. And you also can't carry on having somebody support you when you're being wrong. You follow what I'm saying? The other day, had a guy tell us that we had a meal that took too long to get out. Now, mind you, there's hundreds of people in this little building. Hundreds. There's hundreds of people. Word. And the food took too long. And I almost told him, I don't give a fuck. But I just said, okay, right on. I said, all right. I just took it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. We were able to kick out another meal real quick, accommodate for some other stuff. That's part of life. People will understand one day. I have to relate my real life to this. I have to relate me to the situation because if I don't, then you'll figure that I'm trying to be perfect. Not relating me to understanding that if you help and you support somebody, right on, you can't allow them to think that when they're wrong, they're right. It's again, I'm sorry that people don't understand the analogies. And I'm sorry that their minds don't work like my mind works. I do my best to relate it though. It's simple to me, really, really. And I can relate the two things fairly easily. The same way you would help your brother or your sister or your mother or your father, right? If they're wrong, if they're burning up food, they're doing whatever, you're like, hey man, I can't keep telling the customers, right on. Oh, the cook is just, under a lot of no. At some point it's on you. And I have to let you know that this is on you. Now, I can understand your situation, but that's not how business works. But this is how life works. You can't treat your life like a business. You have to treat your life and treat business like life, all in the same breath. It's still a place of business. It's still meant for whatever, right? Just like when you live your life, you're supposed to live the best life you can live. The best life being the most righteous individual you can be, the most stand-up person that exists within you, not the shitty version of you that you're willing to give to the earth in a moment's notice. They don't need that. They need the other version. The version of you that when you actually act within that form of yourself, everything you do is right. Nothing you do is wrong because you won't allow yourself to do the wrong. Something to think about, something to consider. I don't beg. Once again, I'm not begging nobody to do the right thing. If they do right, they do right. If they do wrong, guess what? They fucking did wrong. That's on their ass. But I did my best to help them to do right. Exactly. Does the Most High God call poor people sinners? No, he doesn't. Does he call rich people saints? No, he doesn't. So the Most High God saints could be rich people, could also be poor people, could also be people in between. Right. This is plausible. And I just need y'all to understand this. A matter of time until the things that I spoke on today ain't nothing really fresh or brand new. I want to talk about the things that are already going on. It's just a matter of time till they get hit all the way up, y'all, and they're going to be forced to reconsider everything that they know. It's not my fault or your fault. It's not any one person's fault that they're going to find out the hard way that they messed up. It's not on us. I know for a fact it's not on us. They've asked us to do everything. What do you owe this nation? It's just a matter of time until you realize you don't owe them anything. And it's even just a more matter of time until you realize that it's time for me to step back. Right. If you believe that having everything right now is going to help you, sure. But woe to them that are rich, for they have received their consolation here on earth. Want to know why? Because you've allowed yourself to live in the best. I ain't talking about somebody that's, if you got a couple $100,000 saved, I really don't think you're rich. You might be nigga rich, sure, but you ain't rich, homie. Because one major catastrophe in your family could absorb all of that money. There are medical procedures that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, or emergency medical procedures that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's situations that come up where people get sued that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So your couple 100,000 don't make you rich. That 80 grand you got put away, you're not rich from that. But if you're sitting on $1 million and you're talking about you're not rich because everybody else around you has more money than you better evaluate yourself, Playboy. Yo, Nubbly, what the fuck is popping? What is pop, man? What is good, bro? Yeah, man. Nubbly out of nowhere. Pimp, you done missed the good parts, but you ain't missed the best part. When we get to the point where we can stand back as a people, individually, of course, and say, okay, this is how much I have. Is this rich or not? Do I have the ability to go out and make positive change right now for my people? I mean, the same individuals who tell you that they listen to their accountant are the same individuals that look at suffering and oppression and say, oh, well, they didn't work hard enough. Same individuals who say that will then cry white supremacy, racism when something foul happens to them. I wish somebody would dump 10 bullets on their head. Really, really. 10 on their head. And just get rid of them. And let that money be absorbed back into the government and then let their families fight over it. Get rid of all those kind of black people. Every last one of them. They're no good. They're not. If you have the ability right now to go out and make positive change in somebody's life and you choose not to, that's the devil. Right on? That's the devil. Only the devil could look at their people once again, and it's just a matter of time until those who are without are sick of those who are not without because they've been living a double life. You'll say on one side of your neck, white supremacy, oppression, systemic racism. Other side of your neck, get your money up. Nigga, you ain't shit. Nigga, you a drug head. Other side of the neck, government brought in the dope. Government is the reason for all these guns, right? Government makes whores. Other side of the neck, it's my choice. It's my life. Nigga can't tell me shit. Okay. They're talking out of both sides of their neck, y'all. It's crazy. And I might be the only person willful enough, and I don't go to their comment sections and spam their sections with a bunch of bullshit. When I disagree with them, I disagree with them. I tell them why I disagree with them. They'll come with their burner accounts trying to push back. If they say some real dumb shit, like if you call me out my name, like one individual, so-called boxing ego, I had to cut bro off like nigga shit. I support you. You don't support me. Word? Bitch ass nigga, motherfucking half breed type shit. Like, don't make me say something vulgar and foul that you don't want me to say to you in this comment section. Word? And I don't. And I don't do shit like that. I just say, all right, you got me, cuz. You want to call me names like foolish. Right on? Right? I never call people foolish. Never. Lest I be in danger of hellfire. Right. You don't speak to grown men like that. That's how you get all your teeth knocked out, number one. Because most guys don't even know, like, I'll do all the talking because I got a lot of wind. But when it's time for action, I'm doing zero talking. Not because I need to save that energy to whoop some ass, but because at that point, all diplomacy on my end has failed. Right on? I tried passive diplomatic diplomacy, and then I tried the aggressive diplomatic diplomacy. Oh, didn't work. Didn't work. Fuck it. Going in. But real life, though, and this is just me speaking to us, when you have the ability to change somebody's life around you and you choose willfully not to do it, don't speak out of both sides of your neck. It's not your place to judge how somebody got where they're at. I'm talking about brothers and sisters. I don't give a damn about no shitty foreigner who is sitting on the steps drinking what looks like Pruno, okay, because they can't get their life together. Came to America and thought that life was just going to bend over for them. And they found out that no, you get bent over here if you don't move the right ways. This is true. And Nubbly, brother, I pray that you are feeling much better post recovery. I pray that all is back to normal by now. And if not, I pray that it's close to back to normal. Family, saying that though, we have to be a conscious people that is aware that there are so many among us who are seeking and desiring a life that is not truly actually going to bring them anything but death and destruction. Let me ask y'all a question. Because I can go into it. Because it's just a matter of time until brothers whose babies, mamas, wives, girlfriends, right, get all the way effed up with their little views that they're running around with now. BEAU. We'll see. Oh, we gon' see. Yeah, yeah, I fucked this bitch, now he a hater. We'll see, bro. Ask homeboy Trouble what it felt like to get in some real trouble. He's gone now. You can't ask him shit. I thought he was a real nigga. I thought real niggas didn't get caught slipping like that and shit. See, I'm not disrespecting the dead. I'm just talking about how dudes like him talk. Where was your 30 thing on the nightstand so that way you could have just blasted this nigga while you were still all in the guts? Huh? Smashing the pussy, handing my fucking gun in my hand type of shit. Where was that gangster activity at? Shut the fuck up. That's how I feel. Nigga got what he deserved, and the bitch is lucky that she didn't get her head blown off too. Because that's what he should have done. Niggas going around here calling him a beta male. These same dudes who call him a beta male don't let other niggas smash their wives. Niggas done told him about it and they ain't did nothing. Seems like he's a man to me. They don't have to like that. They don't have to appreciate it. They don't have to love it. Fuck, they can hate me. I'm keeping it 100,000 a buck right now. My chronic cat. Hit some of this weed real quick. Like I said, put the babies away. I'm not for the babies. This ain't PG or PG-13. This is rated NC-17, rated R, rated TVMA. Okay, parental guidance advised. Parental discretion advised. All right. You're your children's role model, not me. I ain't saying if they come around me, they're gonna be some liquor drinking, weed smoking, wanting to bust somebody's head type of people. No, I didn't. That's not what I said. It's not for me to influence the babies. Your job to influence the babies. It's my job to put a little percolation in your ear that it goes from one ear to the other. That the next week that you live is better than the last week that you lived, and that the next day that you live was truly better than the day before. I speak life on my people. I'm speaking life on y'all right now. You will ask the Most High God to save us. Not because I said it, but because you know it's the right thing to do. Because it's the only thing that's going to save us. You will do right by the poor of your people, of your perceived people, and you will treat the stranger with no contempt. You will do as such because God has mandated it. And if not, cut me off from you, that I be not associated with the sins that you will commit against them. The Most High God be true. There are thousands that love him. That's it. There aren't millions, there aren't billions. So all of these Catholics, all of these so-called Muslims, all these individuals, they're all fakers, frauds, and phonies. Right. They're all fakers, frauds, and phonies. So once again, he wrote that. Moses wrote that from the Most High God telling him that. You could say it's the Messiah or the Christ telling him these things at certain points. I don't mind. I do care who it is because I would love to know the authoritative figure speaking. So, oh, according to part-time vegan, there's only the Most High. So I guess the angels aren't real. I guess that's not really the sun up there. The moon's not real. Like when dudes talk like that, they sound literally completely ridiculously ill. ILL. They are illin, as my boys on the East Coast say. You illin, son. Okay. Okay. You illin, son. All right. That's how they sound. That's it, boy. Yeah, but you illin, man. Straight up. Straight up. 95 East Coast jargon form. You know, that lingo. Anyway, look, y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't told no lies when I said it. Ask yourselves this. Will they be ready? It's just a matter of time until they rift open a portal and invite something over here that they either can't kill immediately and send back, or something that they don't realize is so powerful that they didn't realize that just not even them rifting to an exact dimension, just them opening the portal has allowed for this spirit and this entity into the earth that they may not be able to account for till it's far too late. It's just a matter of time. The Antichrist is among us. Has to be. There are many different Antichrist. There's more than one. But there is one, the Antichrist, who is the one. Is it Kanye West? Is it Elon Musk? Is it Will Smith? I don't know. Is it Bill Gates? I don't know. Is it Bill Cosby? I don't know. I doubt that it's Bill Cosby because he like them young girls too much. The Antichrist is not pleased by the man or the woman. Right on. They don't take any pleasure in any of that. They take pleasure in themselves. Uh, I could only pray that it's somebody that I've seen before, that I can readily identify them. Even if I'm not going to be the one to crack the Antichrist's head all the way down the middle, I still like to know who it is. Right. It's important that we think upon these things. They would have you to believe that just because Elon Musk may be an Antichrist or Kanye may be an Antichrist, that they are the ant. No, there is one that we are looking for in particular. Right. Part-time vegan doesn't realize he's an Antichrist. What? Because he speaks against the Christ. So he's an Antichrist. Part-time vegan, did I tell part-time vegan that? No. I hadn't sipped enough scotch to come to that conclusion yet. We give that helicopter one moment to pass. Had I told part-time vegan that, dude, you're an Antichrist? No. Every Christ denier is an Antichrist. Don't tell them that. Anyone who says that the New Testament is fake is an Antichrist. Can't be fake. If you can't tell me what happened back then, all of this can't be fake. So the Crusades never happened then. So where did they get the New Testament from? They just made all this shit up yesterday. You see how crazy people sound? You see how stupid they sound when they say that? Completely uneducated, unthoughtful, right on, and just unwilling to accept something else. And it's just like it's it's an inability to get outside yourself because what you believe, this doesn't fit what you believe. So Daniel talks about the Christ. Isaiah talks about the Christ. I'm sure a couple of other prophets bring the Christ up in that way. What about when David talks about the Christ? Says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? What? So King David was tripping too? So I just throw out everything about the Christ, all of it. That means I could throw out everything that anybody said before or after that then, because they even brought up the Christ in general, correct? Am I tripping? I mean, that would be the fair thing to do, would it not? Also, this individual not understanding, withstanding themselves, not to see that if we went by their understanding of what white scholars, who individuals like himself will say are racist, systemic racism, but yet you take their word for what is true, what is not true. I don't. I have Bibles that are literally older than everybody who's listening to me. I have a Bible that tells me that the King James Version Bible is based from the Septuagint. So it doesn't matter if a white dude wrote that or not. That's what they said. I have a Bible that breaks down how the Geneva Bible, okay, all these other Bibles are based from the Septuagint. I have that. So whether you want to say a white scholar or not, I don't give a damn who put it there. Somebody put it there for me to read. I read it. That's what I perceived. So when I perceive that, okay, the question is, doesn't matter what color the Greeks are, if the Greeks have their own gods, their own pantheon, why take the time to translate these people's history if you think that your gods are real? Are the real ones. Not the real one, real ones. Thank you very much. It goes against all basic understanding. Any sort of logic, it goes against that. And we all know that. So having said that, because I've been fasting all day, right? So my mind is clear. There is no food percolating through my system that changes how I see the situation. Just in case y'all didn't know, food has the same effect on your mind. It releases the same dopamine, if not more dopamine to your body when you eat than as much as you do when you do heroin, as much as you do when you smoke some weed, right on, some crack, some coke, some meth. Right. The dopamines are released. A person could eat a meal and perceptively be under the same or similar influence that somebody is under a hardcore drug, is what I'm saying. It's the reason why y'all never really see me eat like that. Because food changes how you think that much. A lot of people don't know that. So it's difficult to tell them that. But they don't realize you have to eat. Is that an addiction? Oh, we getting somewhere, aren't we? See, but let's just stop. Let's talk about the real again. Because we are getting somewhere, though, aren't we? Uh-huh. The Antichrist. All those things are real. The Grecians would not take their time to translate, to transliterate when they have their own gods about your God. If your God is not the true God on high, I will continue to expound that point because it is a critical thing that people think and know about. Right. Are you not addicted to eating? How could somebody wax fat if they weren't addicted to eating? Like I said. The same dopamines that your brain releases from doing whatever narcotics you can think of are released when you eat food, when you ingest a meal. Talk about some frequency changes, talk about some spectra. Now, we don't bless them with spectra talk these days. We're past that. If I give them some spectra game, I ain't gonna sell it, but it'll be on a privatized list where only my people can hear what I'm talking about with the spectra. So we can all discuss it and people can agree to disagree or disagree to disagree or agree to agree. Right. Just in case y'all forget, disagreeing to disagree. I disagree that we disagree. Right. Meaning that there is probably somewhere where there's common ground and we just haven't found it yet. Or we haven't sought it out because we've been too busy disagreeing. So I disagree that we disagree. It's impossible almost to agree to disagree because people want you to see their point. That's why I disagree that we disagree. Unless it's something totally different, then I can truly affirm that I agree that we disagree on this in particular moment, or this one particular thing. But all things surrounding it, I might not disagree upon. So to say that I agree to disagree, it gives too much of a general coverage of information that I actually may be coincided with, or I may be more in line with than not. Right. So I'm not going to give the devil or an evil frequency the cover of me throwing out all information, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because on a sliver or a piece of information or a particular part of it, we can't come to terms. Right. I disagree that we disagree. Y'all ain't gonna never get another brother like me. There won't be another one like me. I don't want nothing from y'all. I ain't ask nothing from y'all. That you only participate in the ways that you can participate. That's it. People get mad at me when I talk about the things that I talk about, but this is the real shit. Right on? I fasted today willfully. When I do eat, I'm gonna eat a sweet potato, a baked sweet potato with some French vanilla ice cream on it. And it's gonna be bomb as fuck. Believe that. Had a baked apple a couple days ago. Black people don't be doing stuff like this for themselves. A baked apple with some ice cream. Delicious. You ain't gotta be no chef to bake an apple. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it'll taste like apple pie. Holy smokes. Only no breading now. You just get all the filling and ice cream. Right. I can't tell anybody how to enjoy themselves or how to enjoy their life. They're them, I'm me. Is that not fair? If you go on vacations and leave the country and go to so-called exotic places and you're living your best life, who am I to tell you not to do that? I can just say that they're living their best life, so apparently their duties to the community are fulfilled. Do y'all understand? If the people gave me $1 million for anything, fuck it, they gave me 10 grand to do anything. And let's say part of the 10 grand was supposed to be for me to support my own living, right? I pay my rent for however many months. Then I take the rest of the money, or take a small portion, buy some foods. Then I take the rest of the money and I go out, I just pour it all back into the community. That's it. So I'm taking the money of the people who are better off than those who are not so well off, and I'm distributing their wealth amongst their people. That's how I do it. Where's your money going? To other black people. You want receipts for that? Oh, you need a receipt? I gave a crackhead $50 so we could go get high? Why? Which want a receipt that I gave him $100 or $20 so he can go get high? Why would you give him money to go get high? So that way he could have the young brother that he's getting the dope from to come talk to us. So we could talk to him about changing his avenue in his life. We ain't gonna tell on him, right on? We ain't gonna turn you into the police or nothing, bro. Because these guys are gonna get high whether I want them to or not. They're gonna do what they want to do. But as their brother, as your brother, I'm obligated to reaching out to you and seeing that is there anything that you seek to do other than this, so that way you can make a living. It's not my job, right on, to judge somebody like that on that level. They This is how you make your money? Okay, I get it. But I do talk shit. I make a basic judgment, but it's not my job to tell you that you are totally fucked because this is how you live. It's my job to say, hey, look, bro, you don't have to sell dope. Word, we can get you your own construction company. Right on. We can get you your own plumbing company. We can get you your own HVAC company. Word, like what do you want to do? You follow what I'm saying? Like you have to give people those options. But the only way to get them to have those options is for you to get them in your presence. And you can't be trying to set them up and do them wrong. You have to, once again, if I'm meeting with a brother at a barbecue because I'm having a cookout, how's he going to know that I'm about to approach him? Because he doesn't know that I know that he sells dope. She don't know that I know that she's selling her ass out here. They don't know none of that. So when I talk to him on the level and I'm not demeaning and I'm just real calm with a piece of beef rib to the lips, and I'm like, hey, look, I know how you living out here. If you ever want to change what you're doing to make money, let me know. And we can get you something that you find more suitable. But people get addicted to what they get from what they do for the money. So they're not worried about destroying lives or destroying their own life. They feel like there's no hope and their life is already destroyed. If there is a God, he's not worried about them because if he was real, they wouldn't even be in this situation. Not having taken the time to read the scripture to understand that the people that you seed from may have very well betrayed the God that you think betrayed you or has left you and abandoned you. See what I'm saying? And all because the society that we live in does not put God first like they used to. People are not allowed to learn and they're not shown why what they do is what they're doing. Wavy Israel, right on, said something to me years ago, and he was saying that his grandmother, I'm pretty sure it was his grandmother, he said his grandmother said when she was a little girl, brothers used to come in there full bearded, right? Look like they ain't shaved in a damn whole life, hair out. And this is back in like, man, this back in the day, because he's a couple years older than me. So I know his grandmother had to have been alive probably when my grandmother was alive, right on. My grandmother was born in 1929. Okay. So on my father's side and on my mother's side, they both were born in the same year. Uh, no, I think my father's mother was born in 27. Anyway, people on my family, my grandparents would have been that old. They'd be going on 100 in a few years, right? Um, Still, point is this: uh, his parents are from a point in time where his grandparents are from a point in time where when they seen these people, this would have been way before anybody was really saying like, "Oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite." Okay, no, this would have been before all that. Even if a white person, so-called person, told them that, "Hey, man, y'all are actually the children of Israel," right? That didn't change how people acted because guess what? Everybody's not a child of Israel. Some of these are heathens. Some of these are straight up Gentiles, like no doubt. Some of them are just from other nations. Right. Are y'all starting to hear what I'm saying? You can't tell a bunch of different individuals that have all been mixed up that have different genealogies. You're all the same. It's no different than them calling all of us African. That telling all black people that they were Hebrews has had just as much of a negative impact as telling us that we were all Africans. Yes, a guaranteed fact. Telling Mongoloids, who are not actually the people, that they're the people, has played more damage than anyone could ever imagine. Think about all the brothers that done let a Mexican dude smash his sister because he's like, oh man, he's an Israelite. He's one of us. All the all the different races of individuals they don't let run through their women. Oh, that's one of us. May their pain in hell and Hades be legendary. I'm savage like that. I don't care about how they feel because their feelings aren't going to get me to heaven. Neither will mine. I said I was done like an hour ago. Here I am, still yapping away. So I got to be done in a little while. Check this out. I think we all can agree to this. It's a matter of time before the things that they fear the most take place. And when they do take place, those who are most prepared and those who are most ready and willing will be those that live. Most prepared being what? Not those that have food buried 10 miles out from the house, because you might not be able to step foot outside your door. Right. The most prepared being that they understand that the Most High God will send upon the earth things that will cause men's heart to fail. I talk to Brother Corey Tyler fairly often. We email each other. That's my bro. Listen, y'all. Everybody does the same thing or say the same thing in their own ways. And I'm more or less mystified by it because I just don't view how I build myself up and the light that I may see myself in is not the same light that everyone else sees me in. Right on? I'm just like this lowly servant who happens to have like a special skill set, like a really actually established skill set, like a really good one. Right. And I've failed enough and been unsuccessful enough to know what you have to do to achieve success. And so therefore I thrive for my own level of perfection. You have to do the same thing for you. It is a I, me, my situation for all of us, but we can come together. It can be us as a team, but you have to say, I will be part of the team. We will succeed. This is on all of us, but it starts with you. It starts with the individual effort. Michael Jackson could not have been more righter when he said, "You don't get no righter," when he said, "I'm looking at the man in the mirror." Right on? I'm looking to change his ways. Skipping forward, look at yourself and make the change, brothers and sisters. I'm sipping on this good stuff. I've gotten old on y'all. Started at like 24, 25. Now I'm 31. I don't have all the subs that I guess people think I should have, but I believe I've made a far greater impact than any other YouTuber that I know about. They may be more popular, but I've impacted them. Any black YouTuber who speaks on anything around the areas that I may speak about have been influenced by your boy. They have come here, they have listened here, they have at the footsteps, okay? Can you dig it? They have come here to learn. And I know it. and I've been an integral part of the change that I've seen happen. You have played a major part of my life that I would defeat such a wicked demon as depression, and that I would come out of it stronger than ever, much more resilient, much more proud of myself. I don't operate in pride, but I know what pride is. And I am proud of myself that I haven't taken from anyone else what is theirs that I may have. Right on? I'm proud of myself. I really am. I thank the Most High God every day that I never monetized the channel back when I had my first little piece of success, not even being on YouTube that long. And I felt like that was like a challenge or a test from God, where maybe if I monetize it, YouTube changes the whole algorithm flow for me and they open up the doors and I just start making all this money, and then it clouds my judgment and it changes what I will say so that way I can get paid, because I don't want people to not pay me. I want people to pay me. I- I've never had to worry about that. So I've been able to deliver right from my heart and my soul what it is that I feel the most. That is a blessing. I've never had to compromise. Never. Never. I'm not going to compromise. If you are mixed, biracial, half breed, mulatto, mestizo, whatever you want to call it, or just black in your mind, I'm black. Okay. 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 Say that then, Chief. But act on it. I won't expose the individual, right? But they used to come around a lot. And I'm sure every once in a while they check out the videos. But they were upset because I've met them face to face, right on. And uh let's just say like some of their features don't match the traditional nig, right? And particularly hair. So it's like we had a conversation and they were telling me about how they take such good care of their hair and how that's why their hair is like this. And I took that as so I don't take care of my hair. That's what you're saying. You're saying that the rest of us don't take care of our hair. And I was really offended. So I had to throw at this. So I had to tell this individual, maybe your father that you believe is your father is not your father. That's more likely the scenario than anything else, whether they want to hear that or not. See what I'm saying? So I just laughed because here it is that you tried to say something that where it was like, that's some shit that Farrakhan would say. But Farrakhan has a white father. I've already exposed all this to y'all. So we all know how I feel about Farrakhan. Word? We all know. It's not a secret or nothing. So for anyone to try to say, oh, well, you're just saying that because you feel some type of way, it's like, no, 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 no. I mean, once again, that is the easiest thing to conclude. Word? That I feel some type of way, when it would be far easier to conclude that I don't feel anything and that I'm actually just trying to do my part. But because once again, we live in a society, we're living in a world where everybody's feelings is the most important thing. So we can't even say nothing. You can't even tell the truth. You can't even call a mixed person mixed. You have to call them black. But if you have two black parents like me, my father's light skinned. Okay. Okay. There's some white folks on either side of his mother and his father's family. Okay. Got me there on that. but he has nigga hair. Word? Looks like a nig in his face. Let me show you a picture of the old man. Let me see if I can't find the picture that he sent me recently so y'all can see what my father looks like. And it's just one of those things where it's like I have to laugh to myself. Like, he doesn't grow his hair these days. He's bald now, but his hair grows like a traditional nig's. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother, the same thing. So I always think it's weird that 1 second. Let's see if I can't get this picture to show a little bit. That is my father. Okay. Biological blood father. I'll have a picture of him one of these days in the video. He's light skinned. He's yellow. My father's all the way. When I say all the way yellow, the man is all the way yellow. Why would I? See what I'm saying? So when I be talking shit, they don't even know. My father's a light skinned dude. I don't be shitting on him. I just say what it is. Word, but he's not a half breed. You follow what I'm saying? My lad is a light skinned nigga. Hey, yo, it's what it is. I, I could probably pull up a picture of my mother too. I just don't think I have one on my phone right away. I'd have to do a whole bunch to do that. So we're not gonna go through all that trouble. But Dorothy Ann, right on, okay. Same thing. She's like my color, maybe a little darker, maybe a little lighter, but still, right on. Like that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. I can't even tell the truth without somebody getting fucking offended. So when she said what she said, I'm like, yo, dog, you tripping. Right, that's all the information you'll get. It's a she, not a he. So when she said what she said, I just thought that it was like an offense to all brothers and sisters who I'm like, shit. I remember for years when I used to olive oil in my hair. I go out, I have my hair picked out with the olive oil in it. I see my reflection. My hair would literally be glistening, y'all. And this shit would just be glistening. It was stupid. It was stupid. I'm out here looking like young King Solomon rolling around this bitch. What are you talking about taking care of somebody's hair? Who the fuck are you? That's how that made me feel. Who the fuck are you? How the fuck you know what I'm doing? Right. But that's the real life, the real nitty gritty shit. Because a person should not be able to say to you, claiming to be the same people. That's just like you got these dudes, man, who got the young troglodyte beard, right? This nigga's beard is like motherfucking all the way on the eyes and shit, right? Literally, all the way on the eyes. Word, looking retarded. This shit is way up here. We got another dude. He don't even got the beard he has passes as a beard because he grows hair right here in this area. But there's nothing else anywhere else. Okay? Nothing. Nigga ain't even got sideburns. He ain't got a mustache. Nothing. All right? Then you got other cats who got the spread. Obviously grows across. Then you got the little chin strap beard, right? Check me. You can't even criticize or talk about the situation without people getting upset and getting in their feelings. Hey, man, I didn't write the Bible, dog. Go find. They said nobody knows where Moses' sepulture's at. Go find Moses' sepulture, dig him up, and then you can have a conversation with him there. All right, I'm pretty sure he got a full bushel beard on his face right now, dead as can be, because they say the beard continues to grow even when you die. Your hair continues to grow even when you die. So they'll dig people up all the time, and their hair will be grown out. Their shit will be grown out. It happens quite often. Quite often. Point being this. You have people put in a position that they ought not be put in because they're not the people. It's just a matter of time until they get the taste of their own medicine. Oh, them little dark skinned motherfuckers gonna get the same thing too. People my color who ain't really. Everybody who's not the people is going to get a taste of their own medicine. Believe it. Because they act funny towards you. Have you ever walked by a person who is brown skin, so-called afro hair, but their facial hair constitution is so different? When you say, "Hey, what's up, brother?" They act like you ain't even talking to them. Right on? They act like you ain't even spoke a word to them. Can you dig it? Can you follow me? People try so hard. Once again, people try so hard to act like they're really the people. These are the same dudes who will cry systemic racism on this side of their neck and then say, "Nigga, you ain't shit because you ain't got no money," on this side of their neck. Same dudes. Y'all think I call Jay-Z a Israelite? This dude does not look anything like me. If Jay-Z looks like you either grow no facial hair or you look real funny in the face, player. That's a fact. Oh, you got a big nigga nose, big nigga lips. Y'all look just alike. Only you grow facial hair. Okay, then we look hella different. That's a fact. We look hella different then. And it's just a matter of time until black people are able to just say, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm me. They're them. No one else has to share their genealogy with everyone else like we do. Fuck that. If you don't look like this, I don't know what you're talking about. How about that? My son's mama is white. My son's daddy is white. That's on you, motherfucker. That's on you. All your pride and all your haughtiness. Now you afraid that people won't accept your children as being black, but you thought you were too black. But your blackness didn't come to those children. They light-skinned than a motherfucker. Almost like a white person, but you blacker than can be. Stop it. I've seen it too many times. Y'all don't understand. Colorado has nothing on Washington as far as diversity. New York City might be the most diverse city on the earth, has nothing on Washington in its whole totality. Even California, no, I don't think there's a state that has more people from so-called people from so-called nations than Washington. I've met virtually every race that you can meet. No questions. I've met North. How many people can be like, I've met a North Korean? How many people can say, yo, I've worked with an Iranian? How many people can say that? Work and know it for sure. I've worked with Yugoslavians, Moldavians, Russians, Ukrainians, Belarusians. I've met with the bro. I've been around the Latvians. I've known a bunch of Lithuanians, the Polacks, excuse me, the Polish. Let me not get disrespectful. All of them over there. I've met people from Uzbekistan. How many people can say that? Truthfully, honestly. I've met somebody from Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. I've met them. They don't know. They have no fucking idea. And yet they want to try to tell me something. Bitch, you could travel all day, every day and not know what I know because you don't have my mind that God gave me. Let me tell y'all something about Tariq Nasheed. I swear to God. Last year, he went on a trip. He went to Malaysia. You know why he went to Malaysia? Because I had dropped a video talking about how a certain DNA of a certain people seeded that land. That's the only reason why he went. On the whims of what I said. Y'all think I'm lying? These people live on my words, yo. If you made $1 million off of a nigga, 2 million off of a nigga, and he ain't make $1 In return, would you not take his word for it too? That's right. I done paid their pockets, and they know I have, because I didn't ask for a dollar. So all the money that I didn't ask for was left out there. Andre Wickham makes jokes about this all the time, where he's like, they'd be like, man, this nigga tripping, man. Man, he giving away this shit for free. He be joking, but it's real life. I'm giving away all the game for free. It's all for the taking, because I want you to use it the right ways. They've been able to get paid off of it. So how big of a deal is it to take a vacation to a place where I say black people seated just for him to see for himself? Indeed, Negro or Negroid people did seed this land. He didn't go there for no fucking reason. He went there because I said what I said. He gonna watch this video. You don't think he's one of the people of the few views who watch the biblical shit? He done watched all this. He knows anyway. Listen, Tommy Sotomayor, all these dudes, they all love to come see me. I don't know why. I don't know why, y'all. I don't know why. I check them out, of course, right? When I get the time to. But I may or may not leave a comment. And a lot of the time I don't say nothing. And I watch a lot of their work. I don't even be saying shit. I'm just a fly on the wall. They don't say anything in here either because they would have to use a burner account. Trouble in the West. Excuse me. Trouble in the East. Right on. That was a hit piece. A lot of people don't know that was a hit piece. Tariq showed up. Tommy Sotomayor showed up. Couple other different cats showed up. They acted up that day. They could. I don't know. Maybe they all emailed each other and was like, "Hey, let's just show up and just act a fool on this nigga's live stream," or they just showed up on their own. Well, I'm gonna act a fool on this nigga's live stream just because I can. For whatever reason, they came through on that day. It's a matter of time until they realize and just say, you know what? I got to give this man his roses while he yet lives. If he gets killed, and then I say, oh, I got this idea from him, what good does it do you now? People will look at you with hate and contempt. You're better off saying an obscure nigga you probably never heard of. Thank God for him and all the people that come around who deal with him, because they deal with him. They give him a chance, not the other way around. Thank you. I told y'all earlier, and I thank y'all again for putting your lives in danger. I salute you. Putting your livelihood at risk, just listening to me. Y'all don't think it's the truth, but I know it's the truth. The magnitude of what has been done here cannot be undone. 1619 project does not happen unless I make the myth of 1619, unless I talk about the 2019. Right on. And I held 2019 to his feet. Nobody did that but I. Not no Hebrew cults. Not none of these niggas held 2019 to his feet. And I am the only one that I can think of who told black people do not give up hope because they have miscued the years and our understanding of time. And I did that through the book of Enoch. I have not used my own words to try to get you to believe that the Most High God is real. I have read what is there and I have elaborated. That's it. Because we are not living in that time. I must elaborate. Because somebody could say, where's the iPhone? Where's the PS5? Huh? Where's 4K? Where's 8K? Looking ass niggas. Is that not a witchcraft? Is that not a sorcery? Oh, I forgot. That's a technological advancement. Could the word technology be translated to witchcraft in another language? Or sorcery? Or enchanting? Or magic in another language? Could it not be? Right. And because we have so slight vision, so short vision people that we're dealing with, we sometimes end up short vision. I end up short vision sometimes. It happens in my daily life. Like I told y'all. But I'm going to tell y'all this right here so that way everybody understands. In the next 2 or 3 years, buying out food will become more expensive than it ever has. You're going to end up paying people who are like me way more money than you ever paid them. It's just a matter of time. The most skilled job on the earth, which is the least compensated, will soon that's all that's going to turn on his head. I have yet to meet a motherfucker do some construction who didn't eat before they did it, or after, or during. I have yet to meet anybody that does any job, regardless of the physical rigors. Go in and do that job all day and not eat at all, not a tiddlywink. I have yet to see it. Right. So this whole ass backwards thinking that people's on, don't worry, it's a matter of time until it all turns itself. And they're gonna pay my pockets, and then I'm gonna pay the homeless. And that's what's gonna happen. And they're gonna pay my pockets through legitimate business. So they're not gonna be like, oh, I donated this man $100. Huh, how dare he? No, no, no. You had to come to a place of business, spend all that money. We put so much, obviously, we pay the people who work here, but we put so much money back into the actual community and environment that we're in so it can thrive for as long as it needs to until the Most High God gets back. Right. I'll be damned if I tell a man to give up his wife for a piece of bread if we can grow our own wheat, thresh our own wheat, grind our own wheat, and then cook our own wheat. Can you hear me? Because obviously now it's fine flour. Can you hear what I'm saying? Now, this is the funny part. You got folks to this day, to this very moment, who think that I'm wasting my time talking to my people. But yet, I'm like, where were we at before I came along? And look where we are now. Will y'all at least do me that solid? Everyone that's going to hear this that has heard it, will you at least do me that solid? Say that's right, brother. I deleted a bunch of videos. Had I kept them, it would have been more blessed, but I would have done more damage. The blessing would have been a blessing of blessings had I not ever deleted those videos. I may upload them again one day, maybe. That maybe is a blessing of blessings because people don't know how I used to think. They think I just was always like this, but they don't realize I was tired of leaving those messages out there unappreciated by the people. Because these same individuals, like I said, that have absconded and taken so much from me, have not even bothered to utter my name, even in passing. A couple of them, but the ones who will have the most influence have not even uttered my name, will talk everywhere around it, but they already know, right on? Like, you can never make fun of me. Can you dig it? You can't make fun of me. Man, I've made you $1 million, if not better. Bitch, you better be grateful. I don't cut the spigot off. Right on? That's what it better be. See, once again, let me calm down. But that's where it's at. They're lucky. They're blessed that I love y'all that much that I just don't care to not stop speaking. But I know what impact I've had majorly because God has made it to where you've had an impact on me, to where I've continuously wanted to show y'all that I believe in the Most High God and that there is a logistical and logical effort behind what I do. I ask basic questions. If the people didn't grow beards, why would Moses tell us not to shave? I ask basic questions. If circumcision is so bad, why are there so many health defects when you're not circumcised? Right. See what I'm saying? These are basic things. A lot of these individuals don't want to hear this because then it, oh, well, I do this, or I eat pork, I eat shrimp, I love God. How you gonna tell me I don't love God? Because you don't. Because if you read this and you understood what he was saying, which is easier to do? To not eat shrimp, to not eat pork, or to eat it? I think it's easier. I think it's easier to eat it than it is to not to eat it. Because it's been presented to us and packaged to us that that it is acceptable to ingest. Which is easier, fornicating or not fornicating? It's easier to fornicate because it's been packaged to us and imposed upon us that it's acceptable to be fornicators. Right. It's easier for someone to commit adultery because guess what? They've been taught that being an adulterer is no big deal and it doesn't cost you your life in this land. Yet they say, you know, all these things about God. What God are they talking about? Ask them that. Is this the God of Abraham? So why don't you kill adulterers? Okay, you'll allow the police to kill a man for shoplifting if he resists, but you won't kill adulterers who intentionally went out and committed that act. Think about that. You'll kill a man who resists arrest because he was saying, I wasn't bothering anybody, and truth be told, was not bothering anyone, but won't kill a fucking rapist. Think about that. And have the nerve to tell me and you with their dick sucking lips, privy member sucking lips, this is the law of the land. So that's not the law of God. Right. I don't suppose that people are going to understand what I'm saying in fullness because they're going to be like, oh, he says, you know, a matter of time. He goes all over the place. It is a matter of time. It's a matter of time before all things that are crooked be made straight. It's a matter of time until all things that are broken be made whole. It is merely a matter of time until all things that are wrong be made right. My brothers and my sisters, I salute you. I ask that today be better than, I ask that tomorrow be better than today, and that next week be better than the last. Salute, salute, and I salute you again for doing the right thing, even though you don't know that you've done it, putting your lives in danger so that way the word of the Most High God could be spread to the hearts of those that love Him the most. We will meet again. Until next time.